So hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Book Graveyard Vintage Genre Fiction Book Channel. If you saw my amazing video last month about the men's adventure series Hawk, you saw where I talk about the model who portrayed Michael Hawk on the covers, Mr. Chad Deal. In that video, I pondered about getting in touch with Mr. Deal to do an interview, and right here is if Hawk is coming alive in front of us. Here he is, Chad Deal, professional model, thousands of paperback covers. Welcome to the Book Graveyard, Mr. Chad Deal.
Thank you so much.
I thought that I had the book of that pose sitting right here.
You probably do.
I was ready.
A flying kick, right? No, I was going to say those books were so much fun. They were so much fun, Nick. You never knew from one day to the next. I worked in this studio that did that shot the photos for these book covers. Of course, the illustrators painted them, but you never knew what you were going to do or what kind of a character you were going to be playing when you got down to that studio. And you never knew what the set was going to be. I could be sitting on a sawhorse pretending I was on a battleship or a real horse or whatever, and hanging on to women like with a rope, in your hand, kind of thing, like this, hanging, swashbuckler on a pirate ship, or you never knew. You could be in a ballroom, in a fancy ballroom, in a period piece, dancing, or in a love scene. I was an American Indian, I should say a Native American, I guess, on several book covers. It was just fun. You never knew what you were going to be and what you were going to be doing. And they were always fun. There was a brief interlude from regular modeling that took place, like a catalog and, that kind of stuff. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how exactly did you get started in modeling?
Modeling. Well, I in my senior year in high school, I decided to take the acting course and got involved with thespians and said, "Wow, this is a lot of fun." Previously, I had been doing music a lot, and my degree is actually in music. I have a music degree in classical piano from Berry University in Miami, Florida. And a minor in acting. But going back a little bit, my senior year in high school, I became a thespian. And when I went to college, my first year, I went to Florida State University and got involved in theater there. So I was doing theater and music. And when I came back the following year to Miami, and at that time, I found an agent, an acting agent, but she also did modeling. So my first job actually as a model / actor was a stand-in for Brian Kelly on the show Flipper, the TV series Flipper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I worked that for maybe 6 months to a year or something like that. I don't remember. And then one thing led to the next. I did a couple of small bit parts in movies. The Lenny Bruce story was one. And then did a few commercials. And at that time, I said, this is a lot of fun. I was also teaching water skiing and surfing and sailing at a water sports center behind a hotel. I was living on a sailboat at the time, right at the hotel. So it was kind of a glory job, I guess, for a young kid to be.
How old were you?
I was about 18 at the time, 18, 19. And I anyway, transferred. Oh, I love this story. My schooling, I didn't do so well in schooling when I started out. And it took a couple of years before I actually settled in. So At the time, I was getting deferred from the draft through school, and I had done so poorly that when I came back to Florida to go to school, I went to a junior college, and they said, "Well, why should we let you back in?" And I said, "Oh, please, please. I've had a turnaround." Okay. And they said, "But your point average is so low." And I said, I know. I begged and begged. Then finally they said, "Okay, we'll let you back into school, but we'll only let you take 6 hours of credit. We needed 12 to defer for the draft."
Mm-hmm.
So I got drafted as a result. But I did get 2 A's in both those courses. And my grade point average, by the way, I think it was .01 or .00. I don't know. It was almost non-existent. It was crazy, Nick. I mean, I was just goofing off, and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I got drafted, went to service, said, "Okay, I'm not going to be dodging the draft or anything anymore. I'm not going to try and get out. I'll give my country 2 years of my service." And they kept wanting me to stay in longer because I had been in ROTC. So they wanted me to stay in for the extra year and become a lieutenant. And I said, "No, you got me for 2 years. I'm just going to do my 2-year stint and get out of here." So I did as good as I could, though, and ended up being a sergeant by the end of my first year in schooling. And they sent me to Vietnam. I ended up as a radio repairman over there, and my CO in charge of the repair shop was Frank Namath. Now, that's Joe Namath's brother, the famous football player.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So about a month after I was in the service in Vietnam, we were up in the mountains somewhere. I have no idea where it was. And they said, "Our whole company is going to go down to an R&R center." I had no idea what an R&R center was at that time. They said, "We're going down to this R&R center for the 4th of July." So we all pack up in the trucks and go down. And I get there, and it's barbed wire, yeah, big compound, but they've got surfboards and water skiing and sailboats, and I'm going, "You got to be kidding! This is what I did before I came in the service. This is what I did. I can repair all these things. I know all this stuff." The sailboats they had, I actually had learned to sail on. So, I mean, I knew those boats back and forth. So anyway, long
Sounds
story
like
short.
Apocalypse Now.
What's
Sounds
that?
like the movie Apocalypse Now?
Right. I've got a photograph. I should have sent that to you. I've got a photograph of me with a surfboard on the beach, standing there with my rifle, my helmet on. These guys,
we can put it up on screen. I'll do it in editing. What was the character in Apocalypse Now?
was it Lance? Was it Lance? I don't remember.
I think he was the professional surfer.
Okay. Yeah. Charlie don't surf. I got transferred. The long story short of it is I got transferred down there 2 days later and spent the rest of my tour as a lifeguard in Vietnam. So, so it's like I listened to my mom. She always said, "You never get anything if you don't go after, if you don't speak up." And I just told those guys, I said, "Look, this is what I used to do." And the guy said, "You know what? We have somebody who's leaving soon. You can replace him." And they brought me down there, like I said, 2 days later. The rest of it's history. And so when I came back from Vietnam, I wanted to go back to school. And so I went down at the same dean at the Miami-Dade Junior College and begged him again. He says, "All right." He says, "I tell you what, I'll have a meeting with the board." He came back from the meeting. He says, "We decided we're going to wipe out all your zeros and incompletes." He said, "We can't erase your F's and your, D's and all this kind of stuff." So my average was now, I think, 1.1 something. Maybe I brought it up a few tenths of a point.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "But you'll never be able to transfer anywhere." So I'm in Dade Junior College, Miami-Dade Junior College. And one day, a couple of nuns walk in. And they said, "Hi, we're from Barry University, Barry College at the time. We're from Barry College, and we're an all-girls Catholic college, but we're going co-ed because we're in need of money and are failing, so we need to rejuvenate everything and bring in more money by bringing in men." I'm going out. Come on. So I ended up being the first man to graduate from an all-girls Catholic college.
Man.
Yeah, Barry University. Oh, hang on. Oh, I have it? I do. And there's my proof. I just flipped back of it. There we go.
Nice.
My magazine, Barry University, I just got it yesterday from my alma mater.
You're the official first male graduate?
I'm the first guy to graduate. There were 3 men in the graduating class. Because my name is Deal, I was in the front, right? So I was the first guy to actually walk across the stage and get a diploma from that school. And talk about the acting part of it. I was in your good man, Charlie Brown. I played Snoopy.
Oh, yeah. And on the play at the college?
Yeah. It was so much fun. But so then when I was in college, there were 1 or 2 gals that I worked with as models at the time, because I was doing it part-time, that said, when you get out of school, why don't you just do it full-time? You could do this. You could really do it. And I said, you know what? I'll give it a shot. So once I graduated, I stayed in Miami for a couple of years and became basically the number 1 guy in Miami, which wasn't hard at that time, believe me. There weren't that many models down there, and it wasn't a big industry yet, like it is now. And after a couple of years, I ended up going to Chicago for about a year. I was a little skeptical about going to New York, but I knew I needed to go there because that was the Mecca, as it were, for modeling. And the following year, 1976, I did go to New York. I had a letter from the agency in Chicago, and I interviewed with both Ford models and Wilhelmina, and decided to go with Ford, and was with them for 11 years in New York. And one of the first jobs that they sent me on was the gal, one of my bookers said to me, there's this model, this photographer who does these book covers, and if you're interested in doing it, she said, and he likes you, he'll probably use you a lot. They don't pay as much, but you're a new model here, and you might want to check it out. And I said, hey, sure, I'll do anything. At the time.
So right off the bat that they offered you the
pretty much, yeah. It was one of the first jobs that I ever got in New York. I mean, and of course, like I said, I did a lot of catalog work. That was my main bread and butter. But I started doing these book covers, and the photographer liked me, and we got along great. And it was so much fun. And they saw that I was really doing it as a professional job, as opposed to going down just so I could grope girls, Yeah. I mean, that's what it really looks like. And then, of course, the women that are doing it are not it's not Christy Brinkley. It's not, some high name Beverly Johnson or any of these people, because they're all established. So it was all, most of the book covers were done with women who were just newcomers, to the modeling industry. So a lot of times, and they were young, and a lot of times they would be very, skeptical. It's like I said, the one that I did in the early or late 60s in the Queens, at somebody's bedroom.
Yeah.
Kind of a sleazy kind of job at that time. It was shot at somebody's apartment or something in Queens, and it was like it just it didn't feel right. I mean, it wasn't like we were doing porn, or anything like that. But it was just, it felt kind of sleazy. You're in this back alley apartment, kind of shooting this. And then when I came to New York, 11 years later, in 70, let's see, I got there in 76. When I got there, this fellow who was shooting most of them, Bob Osanich, he had just a regular studio downtown. It wasn't anything fancy or anything by any means, but it was more legit. It was a real photograph studio, and he didn't live there. I mean, that's the kind of feeling it was for some of these girls. And they were like, oh, I don't know about this. So I would distract them. I'd say, hey, listen, you need to turn your head a little bit more this way. You need to, he's going to want to see this. He's going to want to see that, and distract them and talk to them and make it a professional setting, as opposed to some guy hanging out with me trying to, grope my boobs or something, Yeah. And, I'd say, hey, look, they're going to want my hand over here, like this. And I'd be talking to them. And so I think that's why Murph works so much, because a lot of these guys would, maybe think there's an opportunity here, right? Yeah. With these girls. And I'm going like, no. As a consequence, I only dated really one model when I was in New York. And it was this one gal who was basically my alter ego as for the women. She was an older gal, and she did probably as many book covers as I did. And we did a lot of them together. And as a matter of fact, we'd probably work together maybe once a week or so.
What was her name?
Carol Gustafson. Yeah. So Carol was wonderful to work with. And we were so professional. We'd go down, we'd be in clinch scenes and all this kind of stuff, and everything's happening. We're all hot and heavy. Walk out of there and say, hey, I'll see you next week, okay, so forth, right? And this went on for about a year and a half. And then one day we went in, and Elaine DeWillow, who is considered to me, I think, one of the best illustrators that I ever worked with. Elaine came in. She used both of us very often, either alone or together, either way. Elaine did a lot of covers. And one day we go in, and Elaine says, I've got a new idea. I'm doing this book cover called Dazzles. And I think you may have a copy of it. Anyway, she said, I'm gonna have Carol be the aggressor, because usually it's the man, like holding the gal kind of thing. So she sat me down in a chair, had Carol stand behind me, pulling my shirt off, and the two of us, this turned us both on so much that after this shoot, we couldn't even make it out of the elevator, brother. And that sparked about a year and a half of a relationship that Carol and I had. But that's really the only model I ever dated. And the reason for it, not that I didn't like models, but I didn't want to compete with the photographers and the art directors or the clients, who were like fawning over these women, And so I stayed away from it. I said, look, I'm not competing with that, because I don't want to lose work because I'm trying to make the girl that they're trying to get. Right. So I stayed away from it, treated it totally professional. And as a benefit of that, ended up being basically the number one guy for years. As far as book covers go, I did thousands. I have no idea how many, but I did thousands and thousands of those books. Yeah. You got to figure over 11 years, I did, and I worked there probably, I'm going to say I averaged at least 3 or 4 times a week.
The photographer was always Robert Osanich, right?
Osanich. There was another fellow that I worked with occasionally. He was a Frenchman, Michel Leroux. And then there was another one that I did maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 covers for. I don't remember. But the main guy who did most of them was Bob Osanich. Yeah, and he was known for it.
Would you ever get to go to the artist studio? Like, did you meet Samson Pollan? Did you meet Bob Larkin?
Only on the set. Yeah, only on the set. I never got to go to actually their studio and watch them paint or anything like that. But I did, meet these people. And obviously, if we got along great because they liked me and I liked working. I liked doing the shoots. So it was a lot of fun.
So they would request you then?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The only time I wasn't requested is if they felt like they had used me too much and they needed to get somebody else. Yeah. There were a lot of those books were coming out of Canada. There's a publishing company up in Canada that did a lot. Obviously there's many different names of the book companies that did all these books, but it used to be fun. I had friends that would see me in the supermarkets, on the book racks. They used to have them back then. Yeah.
That has to be so wild. I mean, were you ever like sitting on a plane going somewhere and you look over and someone's reading a book with your face on it?
Of course.
Yeah. Did you ever like walk up to them?
No.
Oh, like,
I didn't want fame. I didn't want the fame and glory, but it was fun to see people doing that. Though. And I'm going, oh my God, that's me.
Did anyone ever come up to you if they saw you out and be like, "Hey, you look"?
No. Not that I can remember. Yeah. It was never a real claim to fame. The only notoriety I received, as far as I can remember, was an interview I did one time. They flew me to, I think it was AM Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and if that's correct. There was a TV show, and they did an interview. They had myself, one of the writers, and I think the artist. So there were three of us. There was an artist, a writer, and myself. I don't remember the people. It was just a one-time shot,
Yeah, I tried to find that. I found the AM Philadelphia, but not that episode.
You didn't find that segment. Okay. Yeah. It would have been, I don't know, sometime in the late 70s, early 80s, I guess. Yeah. It was early on.
So when you're at the shoot and the photographer's doing the thing, so the artist is actually standing there, are they telling them what to do? Like, who decides?
Oh, sure. Like, they might be they might have a photograph, let's say, of a horse, and they want to put this rider, they want to put me on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have me pose how the horse was sitting. If they, excuse me, if the horse was reared up on its hind legs, then they would have me sitting on something, I'd be leaning back like this,
Mm-hmm.
so they would have ideas of what they wanted usually ahead of time. And then they would create from that. And quite often they would rent costumes, especially if it's a period piece of some kind. There would be costumes rented. Other times they would just have, they would make believe stuff. It was incredible how much make believe was done. Like me doing a flying sidekick through the air. I was probably lying either on a bed or on a sawhorse or something, like propped up. And they just, they just paint what they see, right? Put it where they want it.
I wanted to ask about that. I had let me see if I get the picture, because there's a cover of the Ninja Master, which you are the Ninja Master.
Yeah.
And you're doing like this flying kick. And I was like, what's going on there?
If you look carefully at the Ninja Master with the flying kick, you're going to see, you're going to see, there it is. I am all three of those guys. If you look at that picture of the guy who's getting kicked in the head, turn it upside down. It's me with a mustache. The Mexican guy who looks like the hombre coming in from the background, that was me also.
Yeah. So was the woman there when you did the poses?
Yeah, but we didn't pose. Yeah, but we didn't pose together.
Oh, so it wasn't.
We were that started posing together. I don't remember if they actually, So what you're seeing in the shot is composite. It's a composite. Okay, it's not a one-off shot. Because like I said, I'm the three people. So they had me in one shot. They had me leaning back like I was getting kicked. Another shot, it looks like I'm coming through the doorway back there or whatever it is. And then the other shot, like I said, of me doing that flying kick. But that's not me jumping up in the air doing the kick. Believe me, that was me lying on a board or something and taking that pose.
That's good. Yeah, I was. Let's see what else we got here.
Sure. Borderlands Hell.
There's what you were talking about, where the
right. Now, see, I'm talking to this girl the whole time, making her more and more comfortable and getting her, because you can see that there's scarcity in the studio. There's nothing there. We're sitting on a bench that they brought in, right? Now, maybe that turned into a bed, or maybe she's lying down on a car or something. I have no idea, or maybe on a beach. Who knows where that scene's going to end up?
It's right there.
There you go. See? Now, what is she lying on? We don't even know, right?
Yeah, no, it's nothing there. Yeah. But yeah, that's a Samson. That's one of the Samson.
Yeah, that's Samson. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. I hadn't seen that one before. I can't believe you were able to dig up these old photos.
Yeah, my friend Bob Dice, who does the menspulpmags.com website, and he puts out art books from Samson Pollan and George Gross.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he had some of the reference stuff.
Nice.
Some of those photos. I know thank you, Bob, so much. It really helped me out. He had a lot of information. Bob really helped me out a lot with this video.
Oh, good, good.
Oh, did you have any contact with the publishers at all? Or did the publishers hire you through the agency?
Yes, everything was hired through Ford. Yeah, Ford agency. And what's interesting is they actually utilized me to get the rates for the modeling for the book covers. They actually used me as a tool, I guess, to get the rates raised up, because I was working so much. They decided to make my hourly a little higher. So I was able to pull the rates up for everybody in that thing. I didn't realize what was happening at its time. I thought, oh my God, don't make it too much higher. They won't use me anymore. But it didn't work that way. I still work just as much.
That's good. I mean, once you're the face of a brand, I mean, it's kind of hard to change you.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, what's interesting too is a lot of times I saw, I mentioned Elaine DeWillow and of course, Pollock and some of these, illustrators were incredible, fantastic illustrators. And you could know immediately it was me. Just, you could totally recognize it. Mm-hmm. However, some, it would be like some changes made, and like you could tell, well, I'm not sure if that's me or not, but then again, I could look and say, oh, yep, that's me. There was something that I could pick out, but, for the most part, they're recognizable,
Did you ever get any of the reference photos to like take home?
No. The only way I would see any of it was on the set. They would do, Polaroids before they do the actual film. They'd take a Polaroid shot and say, how does that look? That kind of thing. Yeah. And all the shots were done in black and white at that time. So, the illustrators would just take it and paint it from there.
Have you ever, found one of the paintings? Have you ever looked for one of the paintings to own them? Like the real thing?
No. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to, obviously, but, I never really saw the finished product unless it was on a shelf somewhere. Now my parents managed to find, there's one, I'm trying to think of the name of it now, but there's one that I have a patch over my eye. I think it's a Western of some kind. And there was The Lawless. That was the name of it. The Lawless. And it was a giant poster. It was like a 3x5 poster that my parents had. And it's a poster of the book cover itself. Yeah. And it's called The Lawless. And I think I've got money in one hand, like clenched in a fist with one hand, and I've got a patch on my eye, and it's like, yeah, but it's not, it's I say the patch, it wasn't a pirate patch. It was the Lawless patch.
It was a law. Yeah, right. Yeah. It was a bandit patch.
Yeah.
Did you know ahead of time what the book was going to be about?
No, absolutely not. I never knew ahead of time who the illustrator was going to be. I never knew I was going to be working for Elaine beforehand. They never gave me that information. I never even thought to ask for it. I was just, I'm going down to Bob Assange again tomorrow for 3 times, and that was something that occurred too. I mean, a lot of times I would do maybe 10 plus a week, of these covers.
Do you have a favorite genre that you would pose for? Did you, or I guess you said sometimes you get to wear the costumes, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. My favorite ones, no, the action ones were great. Like I said, you never knew what you were going to do. So as a result, I'd go down there and I'd have an hour in between 2 catalog shoots, and I'd go down and do this shot. And when I walk in the studio, they'd say, "Okay, you're going to be a pirate today."
Mhm.
You know, and I said, "Oh, okay, that sounds great." And then what's going on? You know, and so it was, you know, or they say, "Okay, we're doing a clinch scene," you know, or we're doing this, or we're doing that, and you never knew ahead of time. And like I said, sometimes if it required a costume of some sort, they would have multiple costumes. Sometimes they had their own wardrobe too, but there was a costume house that they would rent some of these costumes from. But otherwise, it was a lot of make believe. It was a lot of make believe, really, Nick. It was like I said. I mean, if you were on a horse, it wouldn't be a real horse. It was going to be a sawhorse or something, or a chair, or you know, it didn't matter what. They would just make it up. You know, they'd have their ideas ahead of time, you know, maybe some other photos they were going by, and then try to piece it all together.
What's the atmosphere like at these shoots? Is there music playing? Is it just like silence?
It depends. Sometimes they'd have a little music in the background, but it was never anything that would distract you, you know? It was more of like, we got a job to do. We're going to get this done. You know, but that man over here, we want the hair blowing like this. You know?
How long would you have to like sit in a pose like the one where you're holding the lady? Like how long would you sit there? Like,
you know, these poses we did, you wouldn't be holding them that long. Maybe at the most 10, 15 minutes at the most, even in one particular pose. Unlike catalog modeling, where you'd be there for an hour standing still while somebody's pinning clothes on you, you know, and your muscles would start hurting, your legs would start hurting, your back would start hurting. But doing the book covers was fun. It wasn't like it was a real job. It was just fun, you know, because it was a chance for me to do my acting without having to go and get involved with the whole play or something. It was fun. It was a chance to act and just have a good time doing it. But so the atmosphere was generally very jovial, telling jokes, hanging out, talking.
Is there a genre that you didn't get to pose for that you wish you would have, like some kind of Conan type, sword and sorcery, like a fantasy or something like that?
Not really. You know, one time I went down and I was posed. It's the only time I ever did a nude photograph. They had me doing the trying to think of the name now, the fellow from the Renaissance period, who did the drawing, I think, of a man standing with his arms out straight like this and legs or whatever. And then Da Vinci. Thank you. Yes, it was Da Vinci. And it was really interesting to do that. I mean, like I said, I've never done a nude photo before, but this was a nude for Da Vinci, you know? And I said, well, it's going to be a painting anyway. So yeah. But that was a shock, you know, to come in the studio and say, oh, well, okay, you're going to do this Da Vinci thing, whatever, you know.
What was that used for?
I really don't know. I have no idea.
You never were curious? You never like,
Really? I mean, you know, it's, I don't even remember the book. It was, I mean, the name of the publisher, you know. Mm. But there was Avon, there was Dell. I mean, I can't even remember them all, but I'm sure that they're probably on those covers.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are Jove. Yeah, all the hawks are Jove. Have you ever read a book with your face on the cover?
No.
Not once?
Not
once. I suggest.
I've got a lot of friends that have.
A Hawk Hawaiian takeover.
Oh, I love it.
Look at how upset you are.
That's great. That's great.
And this one, you drop a guy. You see that helicopter? You drop that guy into that lava pit. Oh
my God, poor guy. It's probably me. It's probably me getting dropped in the lava pit. Well, like I said, quite often I would be more than one character on the book, you know. Because let's face it, they're artists, they're paintings, so they could change you a little bit. But it's so obvious with that one where I'm doing that flying sidekick or whatever. It's so obvious if you look at the guy with the mustache who's getting kicked It's
Mhm.
me.
Yeah, I heard that before. That reminds me of something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you know the other models that would do the paperback covers? Like, did you know Steve Holland at all? Jason Savas?
Jason I knew. Jason Savage. Yeah. Yeah. I think Jason was with Wilhelmina. I run into these guys occasionally down there, and a lot of times we might be together. If we were doing like a C company or something, there might be two or three of us together on one. But yeah, those guys did, a lot, but I think I'm pretty sure I could say I was probably the one that did the most.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
think Steve Holland is the one that came before you. So he
Okay.
was like an era ahead of time.
Okay.
He's like on tons of covers. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't ring a bell. A lot of times the guys wouldn't do them either because they were not paying as much, or like you couldn't get the guys who were doing like national ads or whatever for a cologne or something to do it. Although I didn't care. To me, it was just more work.
That's cool.
I wasn't proud. I was having fun.
I think that's very admirable that you like to do it just because it was fun. I mean, yeah, it paid, but I don't know.
It didn't pay.
Why you got to have a good time too?
Yeah, well, it didn't pay as much, but it was fun. I mean, even the catalog work, it was harder work because, like I said, sometimes you'd be standing there for hours, even sometimes in the same pose. It was just crazy because most of the catalog work was shot with a 8x10 camera at that time, the big plate cameras, whereas the Montage and most of the guys that did the book covers, they were shooting in the can't remember now the form, but the camera is only about this big. I mean the lens you're looking, not lens, but the camera backing would be about this size. So what is that? Maybe 3x3, 4x4 or something, 4x5, something like that. So it was faster shooting. But the catalog stuff, they'd set it up and they'd only take one or two shots of each pose. So they had to have them perfect.
Yeah.
They didn't want to waste the film,
I got some of those for you.
There you go. That's Carol.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah. That's Carol. Oh.
So
Wow.
that's
Where'd you pick that one up?
I know it's online somewhere. I think that was one of the ones from the Sweet Savage Flame website.
Okay.
Yeah, Sweet Savage Flame romance blog.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look on covers, you'll find Carol on a lot of them. Yeah. So that's not a book cover. That was just that was actually a spread for this furs company. There's a bunch of different ones in there. I thought that was kind of fun too.
This is my favorite. Are you ready?
Which got that was my first trip to Hawaii. I was still in Florida. I was still in Miami at the time. And this is the Lily Pulitzer from Florida, from West Palm Beach, Florida. Lily Pulitzer did this type of clothing that was basically golf attire, but it was like real flashy and it was like very Hawaiiana kind of look to it. And I got booked for 2 weeks got booked for a week. I'm sorry, in Hawaii. So we went to the Big Island, to the volcano and stuff, and resorts. And then I took an extra week, took my surfboard with me, and went to Oahu on the North Shore. And it was wintertime, and took some beautiful photographs of giant waves. I slept in the back of my car at the beach in Haleiwa. And went back home, showed the photographs to my friend. He says, "Hey, let's go." I said, "Okay." So about a week later or 2 weeks later, we both went back together, and I stayed there for about 4 months the first time I went. And we rented a place on Oahu and went surfing. So my dream was actually to get to Hawaii. And I thought, well, if I go to New York, I'll make enough money, I can get to Hawaii in 5 years. Well, that dream didn't happen. It took 10, actually 11, and a wife and a couple of kids later. And we spent 4.5 months driving across the country. We'd sold our house in New York and took 4.5 months driving across the country in a van and tenting it, going to basically almost every one of these national parks. And when we got to the West Coast, we said, okay, Hawaii is our destination. We're going to get there. And we flew to Hawaii, put the van on a barge or whatever, and flew to Hawaii. And never been to Kauai, but we decided to make this our home. We just looked at it ahead of time, subscribed to the Garden Island newspaper, and for about a year, and said, yeah, this looks like a good place. Okay. And when we got into the airport, it was an open air airport. We got into the airport. And my wife and I looked at each other and we both had tears in our eyes and we said, we're home. Mm-hmm. Within a week, we were in escrow on 4 acres, basically pasture land, which I ended up building the houses myself, wood frame houses. And, but about a week into it, we were doing the tourist thing, going to see all the sights and whatnot. And we run into a Hawaiian family down at one of the sightseeing attractions. And the woman's very jovial. And she says, "Oh, you're visiting the island and you're having," and I went, "Oh, well, actually, no, we're buying property here. We're going to settle in. We're going to raise our kids. We're going to be self-sufficient. We're going to farm." And she went, "Oh, you're Kama'aina." And she put her arms around us and gave us a big hug. Mm-hmm. And that was our welcome to awesome. Hawaii. Yeah. So everything just felt perfect. It just felt like it fell into place.
So, so we're going to look at some covers here. First one is Blood Run. The art was done by Bob Larkin.
Okay. Wow. Haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, he's in my Facebook group, my channel's Facebook group, and I wrote him a message to see if he had any more photos of you.
Really?
And I was hoping that I could talk to him too, but he didn't respond.
Oh my goodness!
No, he didn't. I mean, he didn't read it. Like, it's not like he was ignoring me.
Okay. I'm sorry that he didn't call in.
Yeah, it would have been cool. I wonder if he has any more photos, but.
I'm sure guys like that did. Carol, for instance, she's got every photo I think she ever did. She just, tracked them down.
Yeah. I know. I'm so surprised that you didn't.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I've got a bunch. I've got maybe, 20 or 30 of them. But, but like I said, I did thousands.
Yeah. So then we got
like this one, the Blood Run. I don't have that one. I don't have a copy of that.
These I haven't read these.
You have read them, you said?
No, I haven't. I haven't read them. Okay. Looks like you got some kind of wire, like you're going to, you probably can't see it because it's so small, but you're holding one of those choke wires. What are they?
Oh, sure. I remember that. Okay. Because there was only one that I had a wire in. I remember they had me doing that. Yeah. What do they call it? A garrote or something, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got one of the Samson Pollen Hawks.
I never saw that. Yeah.
So there's the real painting, and so you can find the real paintings. Sometimes they go up on the auction sites.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Wow.
So you're in this cover. You're holding this giant gun. Are you like holding that in the studio? They have the props.
It's probably not even a gun. I've probably got a roll of paper in my hand or something, and he painted in the gun. I mean, that's my thought.
Yeah. Were you ever allowed to give suggestions? You're like, hey, why don't I try this? Why don't I try this pose or something?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I mean, sometimes they're locked in, to a specific pose. Like I said, if I had to be on a horse or something like that, they might do that. Or, in a particular situation where they needed me to just be in this one situation. But quite often though, I was able to help out, kind of in a way, it's like the way I looked at it is contribute. Yeah.
All right. Then we got another Samson Pollen here. We'll do the So this is the cover of Easy Company. It's kind of hard to see you there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like I said, Bob Dice, who gave me a lot of these pictures, he has the original paintings.
Wow.
So
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, it would be fun to have an original. It would be fun.
Yeah, it would be cool. They go for some bucks.
Really? Like how much? How much would some one of those things go for?
Over 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get royalties.
You'll be going back, looking through your papers, looking at the contract.
Right, right. I'm sure I signed my life away, you know.
And then we got one of Elaine Dulos.
Yeah, DeWillow. Yeah. Yeah. It was so much fun working for her. Because she would pretty much, just let us go. Because she knew worked with us so many times, worked with me so many times that she would just say, "Okay, Chad, do your thing."
So in this one, are you actually wearing these clothes, do you think?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you actually wearing these clothes, the period clothes?
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Sometimes they would be rental costumes.
You're actually sword fighting some guy down there.
That shirt that I've got on, that might actually be my shirt that I told you I found myself in Studio 54.
Oh, it's your pirate shirt. You just wear that around New York?
Oh, of course I did. I had two of them, actually. I had gotten them from a company that was making cotton. I did underwear for them and robes, and they made these shirts, and it was 100% Egyptian cotton was their whole, tagline, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, their claim to fame. And I don't remember the name of the company now, but I remember getting two of those shirts, and one had like real pale stripes to it, and the other one was white, just like that one there. Mm-hmm. So chances are that was probably my shirt that I got. Yeah.
And then I got another one from Elaine here, a little saucy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See how I'm pretty much always the aggressor. If you find that cover dazzles, you'll see that the girl is more of the aggressor. She's like pulling my shirt off, and that was what set Carol and I off on a romantic year and a half.
And we got one from, you're going to say the name again, Elaine Genale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a ton of the romance ones. I found.
Oh yeah,
so many, and the action ones are easier to find because you find one and you're on all the covers.
Oh sure, okay, because you're the one character. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, but the romance ones are a little bit. They were just all over. All over.
I know.
The River Witch.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. But you could see from these photos, you could see how the girls would be a little reluctant, to be in a scene like that if they were, especially if they were new and had never done it before.
Yeah,
so that's why I said that's why I think I worked so much, because I was able to make them feel comfortable, like I wasn't trying to make the girls.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. There it goes. So there's the close up.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, you're stabbing a shark down there. This is they just followed you down there for your first day at Hawaii.
Right.
Like, hey, Chad, go live your life. And you're like, all right. And this is what happened.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that gun is probably it was probably not a gun. I really don't remember ever having a gun on the set. So they probably just drew all this in. And I would be, having my hands posed in a position, or they would, like I said, maybe make a fake looking gun out of a piece of stick or something, or wood, or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember that. Which character was I on that? Was that another Hawk?
Yeah, you're Hawk. Yes.
Yeah, love it.
So here's one that I have one of the reference photos for. So you're taking aim there,
Uh-huh.
and then we got there's the real picture.
I think that's Pollock, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Samson Pollen. Yeah,
That's Samson Pollock. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can see, look at the gun.
yeah,
You can tell it's not a real gun. It's got something taped on the end of it like a silencer, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's there, and then there's the real.
Yeah.
California Shakedown.
Yeah. I love it. The names, right? Great.
Let's see. We got. Yeah, I put all the. Oh, okay. So let's get here's some more Bob Larkins. So this is like the only sci-fi one.
I never saw this either. Wow. What's that?
This is the only science fiction cover that I saw you on.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I never saw this one before. That's amazing.
It was a series. It had 4 entries, and you're on the cover of every one.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah, you're the 21st century private eye.
Love it. Oh, God.
So yeah, that's Bob Larkin also, and then here I got some of the Nick Carters.
Oh, I remember Nick Carter.
Yeah. So Nick Carter was painted by George Gross.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that name.
So you have this poor woman here,
right?
In this show called. I hope that wasn't her first day.
Yeah, right. Go ahead. That's funny. That's so funny. I don't remember seeing that. I remember Nick Carter, but I don't remember seeing that particular photo either.
Here's one of the ones that I sent to you. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
You swimming with the shark,
right? Yeah, I never saw that one either until you said it. But I never saw that one.
And then I found the original painting.
No.
And for some reason, you don't have any clothes on. What's up with that?
I thought I'd never done a nude before, remember? So I did one.
I guess he decided to make it that way. Because there's the cover.
That's weird. I'm trying to think of how they even got me in that position.
Right.
Wait a minute. The cover has me with a bathing suit on, doesn't it?
Yes.
And the original doesn't. That's interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting. So you think, was there I imagine like a pillow with a shark mouth drawn on it, like sitting next to you?
No. No. I mean, I never, no, not that I know of. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he had, like you said, a pillow or something next to me, but it wouldn't have had the shark's mouth drawn on it. But yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
And we got, let's see. Oh, yeah, you were also the cover of a comic series, The Rook.
The Rook, yeah. I remember that one. I don't remember that particular cover, but I have one of the Rook covers, and they're all pretty much the same.
Did you ever read one of the Rooks?
No. There's one where I'm like in a cave or something coming out of it. Oh, is that it? No, that's not the one I'm thinking of either. But look, there's some kind of demon over there coming up behind me.
Yeah, I just got some more.
Well, like I said, I would never know if I was going down to be the Rook or if I was going to be some, swashbuckling pirate with a beautiful woman, hanging off my arm kind of thing. You never know.
So, okay, yeah. So I wanted to ask you because you are into. Hold on a second. Let me get this out of here. So yeah, I got some photos of you. teaching.
Oh my goodness!
Doing
Yeah.
your doing
Wow.
your dojo.
That particular shot right there is in Indiana, and we were training for White Crane International,
Mhm.
and so in order to master the White Crane, you needed to do it with attackers. So we were training, in the forms, we were training with attackers, and that's Amanda Kaufman. She's a well-known in your area, actually. I believe she might be still in Indiana, but the same area you're in the country,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
And,
yeah.
yeah. Amanda has a great school there.
That is cool. So yeah, there you are, the Ninja Master himself.
There you go on Honolulu Bay.
So are you ever like you want to check it out now that we've talked about it? Like, are you feeling the Ninja Master? I mean, at least.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm living the Ninja Master now.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you have to just at least check it out. These were
Oh yeah.
the Ninja Master, even though it's written under a pseudonym, was actually Rick Myers.
No.
He was he's like a kung fu expert. He worked on all the movies. Like,
Oh wow.
Jackie Chan, and
Okay.
so he
Wow,
actually kind of like knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, I trained briefly with the Jet, Benny the Jet, in California. He's got a studio in Los Angeles, and I searched him out one day and went down and trained with him for a bit. Great guy. Benny Urquades, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He got a very famous scene with him fighting Jackie Chan in a movie. It's hysterical. It's a great scene. It goes on forever. It's a wonderful fight scene that Benny did with Jackie Chan. So it's pretty awesome to train with him. You know, he's a great guy.
All right, so I think that we're gonna call it a day, and I just wanted to say thank you to Chad for coming on and talking to us. You're very lively, very positive. You're very much alive. I appreciate your
Oh yeah.
your love for life.
The bad guys haven't found me yet.
That's good. Yeah, I just we love all the stories, and it was so cool to learn about the background, how one gets one's face on so many paperback covers.
Just having fun.
That's a perfect answer. And I hope that I've inspired you to go read a Hawk or a Ninja Master. You're like, no, I'll not read that.
Right. My pleasure, Nick. Great to meet you, and thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, bye everybody.
Aloha.